In this video, we will write the algorithm and draw the IPO table for the corresponding algorithm that we've written. So let's look at the question. Input an employee's salary. So I've been able to identify my input, which is an employee's salary. Find the tax. Find is always, it means it's a process. So find the tax. So they want us to work out the tax, which is calculated at 10% of the salary. So we are inputting a salary. We need to work out 10% of that salary, which is going to be the tax. Also find the amount the employee will take home after tax. So if the employee's salary is, let's say, 5,000 rands, and if the tax works out to be 500 rands, then how much does the employee take home after tax? It will be the 5,000 minus the 500, which is 4,500. So that's how the calculation will take place. There are two calculations. One is the tax, and the other is how much the employee will take home after tax. Output the amount of tax and the take-home salary. What was the amount of the tax that he paid? And after the deduction of the tax, how much does the employee take home? So let's write the algorithm for this question. Step one, let's start with the input. Input an employee's salary. So it's just one value that needs to be input, which is the employee's salary. So I'm going to say salary equals, and we're going to say input employee's salary. So some salary amount is going to be input by the user, and that is going to be stored in the variable salary. We don't know what the user is going to type. When I said 5,000, I just used it as an example. So in step two, now we've got the salary. Find the tax. So step two wants us to work out the tax. So the tax is equal to, the tax is calculated at 10% of the salary. Now you need to know your percentages. 10%, okay, if we are working out 10%, that is actually equal to 10 over 100. That is what 10% is equivalent to. When we're writing our algorithms, we're not going to use the percentage sign. We're going to convert that into a mathematical calculation. So the 10%, remember, is equivalent to 10 divided by 100. Similarly, 15% will be 15 over 100, and 80% will be 80 over 100. So now let's calculate the tax. We said that's 10%, so that's 10 divided by 100. Now it's 10% of the salary. That's the salary that we've just worked out. So of means times, so we have to multiply. So it's 10% times the salary. This is the salary that the users input. We work out 10% and we multiply 10% times the salary, and that will tell us the tax that we have. And also find the amount the employee will take home. So in step three, right, how much is the employee going to take home? So I'll create a placeholder called home. And to work out the amount the employee is going to take home, it's the salary he receives and the deduction. Tax is a deduction. We take away the tax. So the amount he's going to take home is the salary that he will receive minus the tax that we just calculated. So there's the tax, there's the salary. It goes to the placeholder and gets the salary. It subtracts what is in the placeholder of the tax. So step 2 and 3, that's your process. We've calculated, And then we need to go on to the output. Output the amount of tax. We have the amount of tax. There it is in that placeholder. And the take-home salary. There it is in that placeholder. So we simply go and output these values. So step 4, we're going to output, which is a print. And we like to print a message. So we're going to say the tax is, you could have even said in your message, the tax deduction is. That just makes it a bit more meaningful, but I'm happy with the tax is, and let's print the placeholder tax. And that's referring to this placeholder here, and I'm using the name. So the names must correspond for these two. Then we want to also output the take-home salary. Remember, the take-home salary is stored in this placeholder. So we're going to go to step 5, print our message, the take-home salary is, that's our message. That's a meaningful message to tell the user. And we've already done the calculation, and the calculation is stored in this variable called home. So I am going to print the variable home, H-O-M-E, and that corresponds with the same variable. Here, let me just write that a little better so it doesn't look like it's referring to something else. So there's the variable home, and that is the variable I am referring to. So I've completed the input, which is the employee's salary. So there was just one value. I've found the tax, there it is, 10% of the salary that we've input. And we've got the amount the employee will take home after tax. So that's the salary he receives minus the deduction of the tax. And then we print the tax and we print the take-home salary. So what do we now need to do to test this algorithm? Yes, we need to do an IPO. So let's bring in our IPO table, and 2 rows means I'm testing it for 2 values, right? This is now going to be my input. This is my process, and this is my output. Okay, so let's start with this. In step 1, input the employee's salary. So we need to take some example for the salary. How much should we take for the salary? Let's say the salary is 8,000. So salary equals, and the value is 8,000. So that is the value. I'm making up a value to see what answers we're going to get. So in our process, there's 2 things we need to work out. So the tax is equal to 10 divided by 100. Now, if you know your maths, you will know that 10 divided by 100 is 0.1, right? So that's 0.1 times the salary. So it's 0.1 times the salary. And the salary we have is 8,000. So there's the salary, 8,000, 0.1 times 8,000. If we put that into a calculator, 0.1 times 8,000, we know that there's a decimal point that moves 1 to the left, and we're going to end up with an amount of 800. So the tax is 800. Then how much is the amount that we take home? So home is equal to the salary, which is 8,000, 8,000 minus the tax, and we worked out the tax to be 800. There we are. And if we work out 8,000 minus 800, we're going to get 7,200. That gives us an amount of 7,200. Now, if we go to step 4 is the output. So we're going to say print the tax is, so that's our message. The tax is, and print what is in the placeholder tax. So what do we have in the placeholder tax? We've got 800. And then the take-home salary is the take-home salary is, and print what is in the home placeholder. And the home placeholder is 7,200. And if you add the 7,200 plus the 800, that gives you a total of 8,000, which is the employee's salary. So that is an indication that our calculations are correct for this particular input value. You could then try this out where you can take another salary, and maybe that salary could be it could be 12,000. And then you can do the calculation for your tax. You can do your calculation for home, and you can then get the respective output for an input value of 12,000. So you will see that each time you do the IPO, you can take different input values, and your process and your output will be based on the input value that you have used. And if you make a mistake somewhere along the line, for example, if you make a mistake somewhere along the line, for example, you end up using a plus sign instead of a minus sign. When you are doing the calculation for your home, you are not going to be subtracting, you're going to be adding. And that should be a signal. When you output the answer, that should be a signal that something is wrong, because tax was a deduction which you subtract. And that is how you can come back to your calculation and correct it based on the results that you are getting for your IPO. I hope this video helps you.